like? Why is it that membrane must be in a fluid-like? Now, if membrane is solid-like, the structure is very, very close. Very close kaayo, tight kaayo. Now, that is what happened, class, when the membrane is, made up of purely saturated fatty acids, very close, in such a way that water molecules may find difficulty of passing through in between this layer. Very close. That's why it has to be dapat na ay nakabika ka. So what causes the bika ka is because of the unsaturated fatty acids. And of course, naapag-yun, cholesterol that causes the bika ka here. So there is now enough space for the water molecules to pass through. You see? So that is how important unsaturated fatty acid is. So what happens if your membranes are made up only of pure saturated fatty acids? It could be very hard for the molecules to pass through. Remember, water is the universal solvent. When water passes through here, it could also be other solutes would go with the water. Those uncharged solutes may pass through also with water molecules. Okay, so that is why the membrane must be fluid-like. Now, we also have here, so that is the phospholipid bilayer. Any question in phospholipid? Okay, sure? Okay, another is glycerophospholipids. Now, they are the second most abundant group of naturally occurring lipids. Second, they are called phosphoglycerides, found almost exclusively in plant and animal membranes. So 40 to 50, or phosphoacylglycerols, 50 to 60 proteins. So as what I have said, almost 50-50 lipids and 50-50 proteins. But the other molecules are bonded with either lipids or either proteins. Now, the most abundant glycerophospholipids are derived from phosphatidic acid. So it's a molecule in which glycerol is esterified with 2 molecules of fatty acid and 1 phosphoric acid. Now, we have here the 3 most abundant fatty acids. What are they? 3 most abundant fatty acids: phosphatidic, palmitic, stearic, and oleic. Now, the 3 most abundant fatty acids, phosphatidic acids, are palmitic, stearic, and oleic. So these are the 3 most abundant. Take note of this. The palmitic, stearic, and oleic. Okay. So you have here the structure of a phosphatidic acid, which consists of the 3 types of fatty acids: the palmitic, oleic, and of course you have here glycerol. Okay. Now the fatty acid on carbon 2, glycerol, is always unsaturated. Okay. We have some examples of glycerophospholipids. These are some examples. The name and the formula is there on the left side, and of course the specific name of this glycerophospholipids. Cephalene is also made as ethanolamine. Lecithin, we have there cephalene, phosphatidyl inositol. Now, cephalene is very abundant abundant in the brain. How about lecithin? In the okay, take note of this, huh? So you have cephalin, very abundant in the brain cells, in the nervous system. It's very, very abundant. So you have there. Glycerol, phospholipids. So you have now the lecithin. Lecithin, which consists of the following. Lecithin consists of linolenic acid, palmitic, choline, and glycerol. Okay. Another we have this, the sphingolipids. So sphingolipids, so you have lipids bonded with sphingosine. Found in the coatings of nerve axons or the myelin sheath. Where you can find it? Say if this is the neuron. Okay, if this is our neuron class, here in the axon part, this is composed of, this is myelin sheath. That one. Myelin sheath. Now, that's where you can find the sphingolipids. It's very abundant. It's found in the coatings of the nerve axons or the myelin sheath. That contain the long chain amino alcohols, sphingosine. So where it is named. Okay. So you have the word sphingomyelin. This one. So it's lipid form. It's made up of any myelin sheath. This is the myelin sheath of the neuron. The myelin sheath of the neuron, which is composed of sphingolipids. Okay. Another we have the glycolipid. It's a complex lipid that contains carbohydrate, as what I have said. It's the lipid bonded with carbohydrate. Now the carbohydrate could either be glucose or galactose. So the cerebrosides are ceramide, mono, or oligosaccharides. So where you could find that? The brain cells. Ceramide. Cerebrosides. So that consists several glycolipids. Now another we have steroids. Now another form. So you're very, very familiar with steroids. It's a group of plant and animal lipids that have this tetracyclic ring structure. Patka rings, tetra means 4. So the steroids consist of 4 rings. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rings. So that's a tetracyclic ring. Steroids, all steroids. Now example is cholesterol. Now cholesterol is the most abundant steroid in the human body and also the most important. Now there are some negative connotations sometimes when we hear the word cholesterol. We may think that all cholesterol are bad. But actually cholesterol is it's the most abundant and most important. It is a component of the plasma membrane. As what I had said, this one, cholesterol helps in the fluidity of the membrane. Aside from unsaturated fatty acids that enhances the fluidity of the membrane, now cholesterol also help more or contributes more on the fluidity of the membrane. So what makes the membrane fluid is because of cholesterol. So there is a huge spaces here where molecules will pass through here. Okay.
The membrane?
So component in the So it's found in animal cells and the precursor of steroid hormones and bile salts. What are steroid hormones? Can you give an example of a steroid hormone? What makes you man?
Testosterone.
Testosterone. And what makes you woman?
Estrogen.
Estrogen. So what gives you this female secondary characteristics? It's because of the estrogen, and that is steroid. And what makes you man? It's because of the hormone testosterone. Now, the precursor molecule is the cholesterol. Meaning, when you say precursor molecule, it's the original molecule. Okay? So that is how